Hello, hello. Testing, testing.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to senior night here at Lou Kellogg Stadium. I'm joined with my color commentator, Steven Snyder. Tonight producing is Charlie Smith. And our cameraman, Steven, is?
Tyler Ballinger.
Second time Tyler Ballinger. Thank you very much, sir. And, Steven, tonight we've got a big test for the Raiders. Really should not be a big test, but the way the season's turned out, this Highlands Ranch team coming in at 2-6 is a must-win game for the Raiders if Regis hopes to advance into the playoffs. Currently, Regis sits at 3-5.
And Jake, my understanding of this game actually is that Raiders and Highlands Ranch, the winner of this goes to the playoffs, the loser goes home. That's what I've understood. So, really, it's a big game, and it's crucial because this is the last teams that get into the playoffs playing here tonight, Jake.
Really kind of sad to think of that way, Steven, although everything you said is completely true. Regis needs this game tonight. I'm not sure if Highlands Ranch can make it into the playoffs, but I know that they can at least play spoiler to the Raiders. A 3-6 season would be pretty sad and disastrous for the Raiders tonight. Regis really hoping to rally behind its seniors on this night. This is also the one-year passing of Dominic Doyle, so it's a really special night here at Lou Kellogg.
Indeed, and our prayers go out to the Doyle family and to Dom. And also, tonight is senior night for the Raiders. 22 seniors on this team, so a really big night here for the Raiders as we begin to kick this off. Jake, what happened to the Regis student section?
Steven, game one, we had a full student section. Ever since then, it's just thoroughly declined. We've now got about no one there.
I think that's 20 students.
That's okay. I can still hear the rowdies. You know, we've got about 30-degree temperature out here. It's only going to get colder. Beautiful night here in Colorado. Couldn't ask for anything more.
Indeed.
And off to kick off for the Falcons is number 41, Cameron Corkin, the junior 210 kicker. Nice kicks, yellow shoes, and Corkin's opening kickoff goes to the right side, and it will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. We've got piles of snow behind each end zone. Clearly, Steven, how do you think the weather will affect play tonight?
And I really think that tonight's weather, Jake, is an advantage for the Raiders with their Big Ten style because in the cold, you don't want to throw because your hands are cold. You can't catch well. So with their run defense and run offense, I think you got to give the edge to the Raiders with tonight's weather.
And here comes Matt Hotelling. Hopefully he can have his best game of the season tonight for the seniors. 4 wide receivers out in this opening set. Ball on the 20-yard line. In motion. And it's going to be a handoff. That's to number 9 out on the left side. He'll get gobbled up in the backfield. And on that run is number 9, Elliot DeJour.
Jake, that play was way too obvious. I saw that one coming too. You saw 2 linebackers cheating up on the side where he was motioning. I mean, you at least got to run a counter with that play or something because they know the Raiders are a running team. You aren't going to throw it on a 4 wide receiver set first play.
That handoff to the wide receiver in motion was the only play that really worked last week. We'll see if the Raiders can successfully utilize it again. Here's Hotelling under center. He's going to look, and he's going to scramble out to the right now looking down the field. He's got a man, and it's complete. A nice pitch and catch from Matt Hotelling, and that's Elliot DeJour, number 9 on the reception. Good to see Elliot back for the Raiders catching some balls tonight.
And it is, Jake. It'll be really interesting to see here the Raiders running back situation. I believe Jalen Williams is out, which brings them to Trevor Williams, their 5th-string running back at the start of the year. That's amazing.
Quite unbelievable, yet extremely true. Alex Mitchell in motion. It's going to be a handoff now to Trevor Williams, who gets maybe a couple of yards before being stopped. Looks to be 2nd and 7. Now, Steven, this Highlands Ranch team has had its unfortunate losses, but it's also played its really close games, and Regis cannot be coming into this game cocky because the Raiders haven't done anything.
I don't think the Raiders are coming into this game cocky, Jake. I think they're concerned about the win because they have lost a couple of close games too, and a lot of the times those losses have come from shooting themselves in the foot.
10:43 now, Hotelling motions to tight ends. It's going to be a handoff now to Jalen Williams on the right side, and Williams has a nice game. He'll be short of a first down, but it looks to be 3rd down and 3.
And Jalen is actually out with an injury, so that was Trevor. I know we're used to seeing the Williams brothers in action together, but it's really unfortunate. You could see before the game I talked to the 4 running backs that were injured all kind of hanging out together, and I was like, wow, it was kind of sad in a way.
Yeah, and here's going to be a handoff to Trevor. Ooh, he will not get the first down, so it'll be 4th down. Actually, a pretty favorable spot by the officials. Still looks to be a little short. Steven, one thing I want to say about the student section real quick is I wonder if a lot of students think that this game's starting at 7, so that's why perhaps they haven't shown up.
Indeed, and we'll see if we get that flood, and hopefully that can bring energy to an already rolling Raiders team, and they don't need a kickstart. But and Jake, actually, if you see number 27 in for the Raiders, Jacob Van Loo, he was a JV running back at the start of the year, and now he's on the field starting varsity.
And the Raiders will hand it off to Trevor Williams on 4th down, and he will have the first down, keeping the chains moving. Very close, but he does have it.
These refs I like their spots so far, Jake. I'm really liking it. They use forward progress very well to the T, and as long as they keep that up the whole game and keep it fair for both teams, I like games like that keep it moving and keep it going.
And the ball is now on the Regis Jesuit 44-yard line. The Raiders getting some signs from Mark Nolan. Because it's the last game of the season, the entire JV team dresses out, which is a nice touch. It makes the sideline look huge. Really a nice intimidating factor. So here come the Raiders now on 1st down. 4 wide receivers utilized a couple times so far. Very different from what we're used to seeing. And it'll be a pass out to John Schmidt. A nice attempted block by A.J. Shaw. Actually, A.J. kind of misses man. And as a result, John Schmidt will get 4 yards to make it 2nd and 6.
And, Jake, I like plays like that for the Raiders. I think they're definitely mixing it up. But, honestly, from what I've been seeing with these Raiders, they're experimenting with a lot of new things, and this is not the game to experiment. You experiment next season, first couple games, or middle of the season. You don't experiment tonight because you need a win. You go with what works.
But the trick is, Stephen, nothing really worked last week. And now here's a handoff to Trevor Williams, who finds a nice gap up the middle for a first down, taking it into Falcon territory.
And, Jake, I would actually like to respectfully disagree with that. Trevor the Tro Truck has worked pretty much all season when he's been playing. So I think just runs and then Screaming Falcon or Eagle on cutback routes to the side, they need to run those 2 plays and just, if it doesn't work, then you go to experimenting.
I'm a staunch critic of Screaming Falcon and Eagle. I don't think those plays work. And now here's a handoff to Schmidt on the right side. Here's a play that was utilized so much last week, and a pretty good run by John Schmidt. 7 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 3 for Regis.
And sorry, folks, we had technical difficulty with our camera. Hopefully we can get that one fixed out. But, so, Jake, I don't know. We'll have to see what the Falcons do here tonight with John Schmidt. First 2 plays, they caught on to him. Second 2 plays, they didn't. And there you see a Falcon cheating up.
And it'll be a fake handoff to John Schmidt. Hotelling now rolling out to the left side. He had some space downfield, but he finds a wide open Robert Orban across the field for a first down. That's a beautiful setup, and that's what the Raiders have to do.
That was a gorgeous setup. You saw the linebacker and the safety kind of cheat towards the side of John Schmidt. Definitely the linebacker coming all the way up to the line. And that little fake just gave him some open space and opened up Robert Orban.
7:40 to go in the first quarter. The Raiders offense receiving sideline signals. Hotelling will explain the line what the play is. The ball is on the 25-yard line of Highlands Ranch. Hotelling sends A.J. Shaw in motion. Hotelling, he's going to fake handoff. He's looking deep across the middle of the field. He's got a man, and I think the cornerback got a hand in there. Nice play by the Falcons defensive back.
And absolutely fantastic play, Jay, because what you want if you're the defensive player to know you're playing good defense is you want the opposing fans to be calling for a pass interference call. And when you don't get the call, that means you are playing right on that borderline. Perfect pass defense.
And, Steven, I don't know about you, but I don't think that was pass interference. I think that
it was not. It was clearly not.
So a great defensive play by the Highlands Ranch cornerback, and it'll set up a 2nd and 10. Hotelling has 4 wide receivers. He's going to look. He's going to do a designed run up the middle, and he actually stays on his feet for a couple seconds, but will get only a yard. Tripped up right at the line, 3rd down and 9. And so far, Steven, I like what I'm seeing with the Raiders' pass designs, though, getting open men.
I do like what I'm seeing with the Raiders' pass designs. I think with the Raiders' style of play, you can't ever have an empty backfield, though, Jake. That's going to be my biggest criticism tonight. You always have to leave the defense with the option that you're going to run it, not on emotion.
Well, we'll see if it works. 3rd and 9. Hotelling, he's looking to the right side. He's going to throw it up in the air, and he really underthrew his man. It'll hit off a Highlands Ranch safety. There's a flag on the field, but see, Steven, that's the ball that is just extremely dangerous and really should have been picked off.
And you hate to see Elliot DeJour have to play defense. I know Hotelling was under pressure, but you can't just lob it up like that. That's what gets the Raiders into trouble.
Holding on Highlands Ranch, so that'll be a 1st down for Regis Jesuit. That's a break, Steven. Really, I didn't see the call, but we'll take it, and that's a 1st down.
Indeed, Jake, and see, chains haven't moved yet. Still 3rd. Oh, here we go. So, wow, great first outing from the Raiders. Raiders not known to be a first-quarter team, Jake, at all. In fact, they've averaged 1.2 points a game in the first quarter.
That penalty will bring the ball to the 14-yard line. 6:30 to go in the first quarter. Trevor Williams in the backfield. Hotelling's going to fake that off. He's going to roll out to the right. He's looking for a man. He's going to take it and run. Great decision by Matt Hotelling. And he's very close to the goal line. He stayed on his feet, got tackled, but a nice gain for Matt.
Great gain, Jake, but as we've said in weeks past, you are a quarterback, and when the defense sees you running, a little radar goes off in their head, and they can instantly hit 2 to 3 times harder than they normally can. You got to get down if you're Matt Hotelling. I know he thought he had a touchdown, but you got to get down and just play it safe.
1st and goal. And here's Hotelling. It's going to be a handoff to Trevor Williams into the end zone untouched. Touchdown. Trevor Williams. Raiders up 6-0 here in the first quarter. It didn't take long. The Raiders score in their first drive. 6 minutes and 4 seconds still on the clock. Steven, that drive took almost half the quarter.
And that's Regis Jesuit football, Jake. I'm surprised, actually, with all their pass routes and the stoppages of play, that drive normally would have taken about 9 minutes for the Raiders. But if the Raiders continue to dominate and Highlands Ranch continues to just kind of back off and give them space, this game's almost over from the start. But, yeah, that did not look as difficult as the Raiders have looked against all other teams this year.
Very true, Steven. A really great job balancing the passing game with the running game, and, a pretty key holding call to keep the drive alive. But there was a penalty on the field. I believe it was encroachment by Highlands Ranch. So Vince Saban in to do the kicking duties tonight, again, instead of Harrison Thrasher. And the snap is good. Very low kick by Vince, but it sails through the uprights, and Regis has a 7-0 lead. We're going to take a quick break here on RJ Live and pick back up for the kickoff.
Jake, you gotta talk if that's up. That means you're on.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after Regis Jesuit has just scored its first points of the night. And Vince Saban now to kick off for the Raiders from the 40-yard line. Vince with a pretty good high kick. It'll be fielded at around the 10. And taken out. Hard hit there by number 73 for the Raiders, Mason Thompson. And the ball is out to the 26-yard line. That's where Highlands Ranch will set up its first offensive drive of the night. And really a big chance for the Raider defense to make a statement here, possibly make a quick 3-and-out. The Raider defense has been the backbone of this team so far, really contributing to all the wins. It's going to be a handoff and stopped immediately for no gain, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. Sorry, folks, for our camera problems. We seem to be having some power issues, but we'll hopefully get that fixed imminently. 2nd down and 10. Highlands Ranch running back Jake Cottrell, 5'9" junior, very fast. And some motion before that snap. Keaton Thames tried to get that ball off, but the whistle blew, and it's a false start penalty against the Falcons.
So, sorry about that camera stuff at home, folks. Now we got you working. Sorry I had to disappear for a sec just to get that fixed. But, Jake, how have the Falcons looked on their first offensive drive?
Steven, they've done one play for about no gain, a run up the middle. And really, Steven, I was saying how this is such a huge stop for the defense, which has been the strength of this Raider team. Here comes Thames, and he's sacked. Absolute incredible surge by the Raider line, and the quarterback never had a chance.
Antonio Broadus just tearing it up in there, and that's what they need, production from Antonio Broadus and Eddie Gonzalez in there. And really, if you're Thames, you got to be scared, Jake. You just got absolutely clobbered. And as we've said all season, one thing the Raiders have been consistent in that's good is finishing a hit and making it count. Their hits are hard. So if you're Thames, you got to be concerned.
Thames on 3rd down and long, he's going to hand it off and trying to take it across the left side is number 6, I want to say, 7, Blake Robbins. Will not get anything. And it'll be 4th down. 4th down in a monster distance, probably 4th and 20.
Jake, I've never gotten this. Can you explain to me the psyche of a coach to run on 3rd and very long?
I think sometimes you want to get some positive yards, I guess. Try to get an easier punt off, but you're not really thinking you can get the 1st down. And here's the punt. Decent punt. Alex will field it on a hop, and it's a nice hop right to him. Great field position for the Raiders on this 2nd drive. They'll start at around the Falcon 45, so a short field, Steven.
And a very short field, Jake. Not a good punt by the Falcons, and they're almost looking. The man set back to be a blocker for Alex Mitchell. It almost looked like he could have easily fielded that. So, really, that drive only taking 2 minutes and, I want to say, 18 seconds. So
3:48 on the clock in the first quarter. And Hotelling, there's a flag on the field. False start on the Raiders.
Really?
I didn't see anything, but, the ref, I'm sure, has a better view than us, Steven. So
I think the feet of number 17 were still moving. He never got set after his motion, which is technically an illegal procedure, which has the same motion as offsides. Or false start, excuse me.
1st down and 15 for Hotelling. That's Alex Mitchell and John Schmidt looking at the sideline for signals. And Hotelling barking commands to the line. Ball's on the near hash of the 50-yard line. Highlands Ranch in a 5-2, and Regis will burn a timeout. I've always felt those are just kind of stupid mistakes, just not knowing what the play is. And there's McPhee really yelling at the team, really laying into them. Some profanity.
And Jake, the worst part is that we comment on what terrible timeouts and bad mistakes those are every single game for the Raiders. It happens every game. And the second half, they'll burn another one because they can't get their play down. But overall, I like the way the Raiders look tonight, so I'm not going to go too much into that because they've really given us nothing else to comment bad on. Their defense has been spectacular, and their offense moving the ball unlike we've seen all year.
Well, I mean, you look at what are the causes behind this 3-5 season, and one of them is definitely clock management and stupid timeouts, delay game penalties. So we'll see now how the Raiders can do. John Schmidt in motion, Hotelling. He's going to fake handoff to Schmidt and hand it off instead to Trevor Williams, who finds some space. He'll take it probably 8 or 9 yards. It'll now be 2nd and 6. So a nice run by Trevor that sets up a manageable 2nd down.
And Jake, the really unfortunate thing about that penalty is that'd be about a 2nd and 1, where the Raiders could take a shot at the end zone deep. Now they have to gain yards and make sure it's a manageable 3rd down, unfortunately.
So here's the Raiders' favorite formation tonight. 4 wide receivers. Hotelling sends A.J. Shaw in motion, and he's going to quickly dump it off to the right side. And we're going to see what the call is. I guess the pass either dropped or his knee was on the ground. And the pass is incomplete. That's really...
No, I don't agree with that. That was complete.
Regardless, even if it was complete, I think his knee was down. So,
okay.
Tough break. Matt Hotelling really didn't put enough on that pass.
No, he didn't, but I thought Elliot DeJour made the effort. But, oh well. You win some, you lose some. I've been very pleased with these refs tonight, actually. So
3:10 to go, 3rd down and 6. Here's Hotelling, 4 wide receivers. And Hotelling's going to drop back. He's going to look deep down the right sideline. And the pass falls incomplete. Steven, you're going to have to remind me, but has Regis completed a single long pass this year?
Yes. They completed 1 touchdown pass to Alex Mitchell. I can't remember the game exactly, but there was about a 24-yard touchdown pass to Alex Mitchell.
But not like a super long one, like just an all-out streak that we actually hit.
There might have been one that beat Alex Mitchell if it was. I'll try to get asked that during halftime and find out.
So here's Sebastian Harris on the punt now. And another low snap from Will Dines, but Sebastian's punt is angled pretty well towards the corner, and it's caught. So that's a great job by Sebastian really there. About a 31-yard punt, but pins the Falcons deep in their own corner. Nice job.
And as I've been saying, Jake, Sebastian's fantastic corner punter. He does that every day in practice, getting it down to a science. So I definitely think if he had the leg strength, he could be playing at the next level. I'm not sure if he'll be able to, but he definitely has the placement. And if he gets good snaps, he has the consistency.
Yeah, we've really struggled in the long snapping department so far. And now the Falcons will take over the ball. That's Thames in his own shadow of the goal. 2 wide receivers for Thames. And it's going to be a pass or toss to the halfback on the left side. And he turns the corner for a big gain. Wow, he really showed some speed along the sideline there, Steven.
He did. I thought he stopped in the backfield, Jake, and all of a sudden he comes out 20 yards past the line of scrimmage, just hauling. So, great effort there by the Highlands Ranch running back. If you're the Raiders, don't let that get you down.
And that is...
Take it back up and stop him here.
Excuse me, Steven. That is Jalen Cottrell on that handoff, showing some great speed along the sidelines. Only a junior, 5'9", so he's a speed running back. And 1st and 10 now for Highlands Ranch from the 28-yard line. And here's a... Thames is going to run it, and he will not get anything. Not sure what that play was.
I think it was almost designed as an option, but it looked like his pitch man actually had to go block to make sure he didn't get totally lit up. So I think it was a broken option, Jake. That'd be my best guess. Or design quarterback run.
2nd down and 10 now. The ball is at the same spot it was, so we'll see what Thames can dial up here. Let's see. Thames is a junior, and last year they had a really good quarterback graduate who actually went to Wake Forest. I'm blanking on his name, but kind of like Regis, really struggling with a new quarterback this year, and quarterback is a vital position for success. Thames is going to fake the handoff. He's going to... I'm not sure what that was.
That looked like it slipped, Jake. You could tell by the way it came off his hand. It came off his the tips of his fingers and was kind of rolling, almost like he twisted his wrist when he was trying to throw it. That was just... And I think the cold did that to him, to be honest.
Highlands Ranch has certainly struggled. I remember early season they got pounded by Rock Canyon, who this was their first year in 5A, and then by Ponderosa, who's actually in 4A. So this is the team that the Raiders have to beat. 3rd down and 10, 2 wide receivers, flank off the right tight end, and Cottrell in the backfield. It's going to be a toss to Cottrell, and he'll make a pass number 40 for the Raiders, and they actually gave up a first down on that. Wow. Not a great job of outside contain by number 40, Gunnar Patterson, really let Cottrell circle around him.
One thing I've seen tonight, Jake, that I'm not too happy with the Raiders is they get the freeze up in the face of a defender and let the defender's feet and head jerk with them. Go for the tackle. If you miss, you have the same result. It's kind of like that, as I said last week, that Vince Papali freeze-up on the first play of his pro career where he just gets clocked on the block.
1st down and 10. Thames going to fake the handoff. He's going to scramble out on the left side, and he's going to tuck it in and run. Seems to be a running quarterback. Pretty hard hit on Thames. He'll get maybe 3 yards.
Jake, where are these quarterbacks' heads at? Get down. I mean, do you want, as I was saying earlier, when defensive players see a quarterback, their psyche just goes off, and they get super strength if they can hit a quarterback. You have to go down.
So now 2nd down and 7. And, Steven, one thing I'll agree with you about that, but, nowadays everyone sees the Tim Tebow effect, and everyone wants to just destroy people, and the result is usually bad. We all saw Robert Griffin get lit up against the Falcons. And Thames is going to scramble out to the right again. Got a man. He doesn't seem to be accurate at all when throwing on the run or actually throwing at all.
I would not have him throw for the rest of the half, Jake, at least. Or get him a hand warmer. Does he have a hand warmer on his? Because these throws are absolutely pitiful.
I wonder, Steven, they're going to have to do something like just easy screen passes or hooks because he can't throw it more than 10 yards accurately.
He has a hand warmer, but it's turned around backwards. He needs to get that up front.
3rd down and 7. Thames under center. It's going to be a toss outside to Cottrell. Cottrell, there's a flag on the play. Probably against Highlands Ranch.
Indeed, it will be, Jake.
29 seconds to go in the first half, and the Raiders will wisely decline this penalty to bring up a 4th down and a punt situation for the Falcons. But overall, Steven, I'll give the Raiders, and this is the first time I've done this, I'll give them an A for the first quarter because this was absolute dominance, offense and defense, taking up some good time on the drive.
And, Jake, my only concern is I've given them 3 first-quarter A's throughout the season. Problem is those are followed by 3rd and 4th quarter C's and D's. So the Raiders, they look dominant, and I believe they've defeated Highlands Ranch already tonight. They just need to keep it going.
There's going to be a whistle. And that's the end of the first quarter. So at the end of 1, Regis Jesuit up 7-0. We'll come back for the start of the second. And welcome back for this 4th down punt. Pretty good punt. Got a lot of hang time. And the Raiders will let it go out of bounds. Goes out at what looks to be the 25-yard line. So we'll see what happens here for the Raiders on offense.
Yeah, Jake, how long was that punt? I counted 30.
Oh, I was saying it went out at the 25.
Oh, yeah. So 30-yard punt there. Not bad, but definitely not great. I want to see the Raiders dominate on this offensive drive.
And here comes Matt Hotelling with Trevor Williams in the backfield. 1st down and 10 from the Regis Jesuit 25-yard line. In motion, Alex Mitchell. And Alex Mitchell fumbles the football. and I don't think he got it. Steven, I think that's about the third time that Alex has had that happen. Really unfortunate to have that be on senior night, but he just never had solid possession of the ball from the handoff from Hotaling.
And Jake, he didn't have a solid handle, but he did the right thing. He didn't try to scoop. He tried to dive on it. Unfortunately, when you fumble, it's just good luck trying to get that. Highlands Ranch player's looking a little confused there for a sec. But if you're the Raiders, you got to stop them here and hold them to a field goal, Jake, which they're good at. They're a red zone defense.
That's so unlucky and really sad. That's just been the way the season's turned out. Get a great stop on defense and fumble the first handoff, but we'll see what the defense can do here. Thames has two receivers and Cottrell in the backfield. He's going to fake, handoff to Cottrell, and he's going to run, and he'll get tripped up before gaining a lot of yards. Looks to be a gain of nothing.
That's my boy Eddie Gonzalez getting an ankle there and just yanking him down. If you're the Falcons, you got to find something. You got to pull out trickeration. You got to try a hidden ball play. Maybe a fake field goal on second down. I don't know. You got to find something that works against these Raiders because you obviously haven't found it.
Fake field goal on second down.
You never know, Jake.
I've never heard of that, but you never know. And there's going to be a whistle on the plate. Timeout, Highlands Ranch. So I think that's actually a smart timeout because this Falcon offense has just looked inept. And really, Steven, I can't overstate how sad this student section is. Really, this is probably the worst student section I've ever remembered.
And Jake, I believe this is the worst student section right now. And you know how we're talking about people, they'll show up at 7, But this game is moving at a blitzkrieg-like pace. I mean, 30 minutes to get through the first quarter, that's absolutely unheard of for a Regis Jesuit game.
Well, Steven, when you get running offenses, you keep the clock pounding. But, that's what Regis wants. They want a quick game that has a continuous running clock because of just the running game and really controlling time of possession.
So, what do you think the Falcons are going to do here, Jake? Flea flicker?
They've had really good success handing it off or pitching it to Cottrell. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him 2 handoffs here to try and gain 10 yards or maybe even 3. I'm not sure how good of a kicker they have. And here's Thames in the shotgun now, and he's going to look to throw. He's looking back. He's really scrambling back, and he's going to throw it downfield to the end zone, and it's intercepted. What an awful decision. That is number 26.
Yeah.
No, that's 28, Shane Moody. And Shane Moody's taking it all the way down the field. What a great cutback. He probably ran 150 yards down the field. Pick 6 interception. That's the first time we've had that happen this year. And Regis is up 13-0. I cannot overstate how awful of a throw that was by Thames.
Jake, you know what the unfortunate thing was that was the most accurate throw he's had all night. I think if you're Highlands Ranch, you're done throwing for the half to begin with. The next 10 minutes and 43 seconds, you should not throw a single ball. And great run by Shane Moody. I don't know. We should hand the ball off to him, Jake. Throw him in running back, see what he can do because, like you said, that was 150 yards. Great cutback. Great blocking by the Raiders. Legal blocking. Normally you see holding penalties on that.
And in the books, that'll go officially as a 98-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Vince's extra point is up and good. So Regis Jesuit up 14-0 with 10:43 to go in the second quarter. And we'll take a break. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. After Shane Moody just had his 98-yard interception return for a touchdown.
And Shane Moody's 4th interception on the year, actually. So most of it is coming at the end of games. Finally good to see him get one mid-game. That's a game changer and turn that around for a score. And I think I can't see the Highlands Ranch team being mentally okay after that. I mean, they've got to be pretty shaken.
Absolutely, Steven. And Shane is an extremely fast dude. I remember back to when we played freshman football DBs together. He was always one of the fastest kids. And the kickoff by Vince will be fielded at the 10-yard line and run back to about the 28-yard line. So that's where Highlands Ranch will shut up. Steven, I can't imagine them passing the ball again for quite some time.
And, Jake, as I was saying, they need to be done for the half. I don't care if you see a ferry come down and say, Thames, you can now throw. You start that in the third quarter. You don't even go think about a pass in this half.
10:37 is the time on the clock that Highlands Ranch will start this drive. Thames is still out there at quarterback, and they'll be in an I formation now. Thames is going to hand it off to the fullback. I believe that's number 26, Cameron Childs.
Jake, is there any other option in football to gain yards besides running or throwing? Because Highlands Ranch needs to find that here if there is one.
Trickery.
Trickery. I like it. I think a flea flicker, Jake, without a throw, so a flea flicker run.
When does a flea flicker work, though?
In situations like this.
Thames has two halfbacks to either side of him. He's going to option it, and he's going to get thrown to the turf by Michael Gunther. Absolutely read that perfectly. Poor Thames, man. I do not envy that man right now. And it's not Thames. They took out Thames, and they put in number 16, the sophomore, Josh Cookson. Probably a wise decision because Thames looked awful.
Jake, maybe you let Cookson air one out here because you obviously have nothing going. I don't think you give it to Cottrell because the Raiders have 7 men waiting for that. I think you let Cookson air it out on a streak route and just throw it as deep as he can.
Cookson is listed on the depth chart as 5'9", and he's going to scramble out to the right. He's going to find pressure, and Steven, I will say all the momentum is on the Regis Jesuit sideline. A great defensive stand, setting up another punt. Alex Mitchell looking for some personal vengeance after fumbling that last handoff.
And Jake, actually, my phone just rang. The momentum source out of momentum for the Raiders. They need some more because these Raiders are rolling. They are rocking, and they're on their way to an easy victory here tonight if they can keep it together.
So here's the punt. It's a lower punt this time. Alex Mitchell fields it, and he'll take it along the right side. Alex Mitchell trying to get to the sideline with his stiff arm. Stays on his feet. A nice return by Alex Mitchell. Return of about 20 yards, taking it to the Highlands Ranch 36-yard line.
Jake, gross punt there after everything's said and done of 12 yards. When you aren't doing anything right, you got to or at least rely on your special teams for something, and Highlands Ranch can't even do that tonight. I'm trying to stay away from just dogging them every time I talk about them, but have you seen anything good from them tonight?
Steven, I really am at a loss to find something positive for Highlands Ranch because they've done almost nothing well, and hopefully the Raiders can take advantage of that fact. AJ Shaw in motion. Hotelling's going to hand it off to Trevor Williams, who will fight for maybe 3 yards. Second down and 7 now. 8:25 to go in the second quarter.
And, Jake, we actually had 2 possession changes within 2.5 minutes there. So, clock winding fast, but possessions going through them fast, too. So, let Hotelling throw one here.
4 wide
Come
receivers.
On, Coach Nolan.
4 wide receivers for Hotelling to choose from. And it's going to be a screen that was almost caught after the initial deflection by number 61 for the Falcons, Jordan Jones. Really showing his hops on that one, deflecting Hotelling's pass. Still almost caught, but it falls to the turf, and now it's a big passing situation. 3rd down and 7.
This is the first time all season when we've been in a definite passing situation, Jake, and I haven't been worried about Hotelling. I feel confident in him right now, which is something to say from watching this season.
Highlands Ranch will call a timeout. Steven, I know we disagree on what passes we think the offense should really throw, but I'm just always a huge proponent of the crosses over the middle, really short, simple wide receiver screens. Those work well. I don't like these long hooks that involve the quarterback scrambling out.
And, Jake, I don't like the quarterback scrambling out. I like tight end button hooks, personally. That's just me. Watching B.J. Cunningham and many Big Ten teams utilize the tight end button hook or the slot receiver button hook so well against defenses just like Highlands Ranch who give you space. So I think if you're Regis, you really just got to – I don't think you go with short passes. I think you go with quick passes, but give him routes. Give Hotelling routes that are able. Like, let Hotelling throw to Mitchell on a streak here. I mean, you have nothing to lose.
3rd down and 8. There are 2 wide receivers. AJ Shaw in motion. Trevor Williams in the backfield, and he'll hand it off to Trevor. Interesting call to do that after a timeout. He'll get stopped for a gain of nothing, and Regis will probably go for it here.
That's the only reason I can think that they would run Jake. If he gets it, great. If he doesn't, we have 4th down, because this is in that awkward middle land territory where you definitely don't punt. Because if you have your punter standing on the 43, that just looks ridiculous. But it's too long for a kick.
So the Raiders will go for it. Here's Hotelling. He's going to drop back. He's looking down the sideline, and he'll throw it out of bounds, which is the one time I'll say don't throw it out of bounds is when it's 4th down. You might as well just heave it somewhere in bounds, because if it's intercepted, who cares? That would have happened anyways.
Indeed, Jake. The only thing I like about that is it shows he's finally thinking, and he's thinking for himself. He's not just throwing it up to the receiver. The coaches are like, this is your number 1 receiver. He's not trying to force throws anymore. So it shows that he's improving. So as much as I dislike that throw, I like it at the same time.
So the Falcons will take the ball over on their own 33-yard line. And we'll see if they can finally have some success. Thames is back in. It'll be a handoff to Cottrell. Cottrell really been the lone bright spot, if any, on this Falcons team. Really explosive once he gets to the side, Steven.
So, yeah, I'd say Cottrell's been a bright spot. The only problem is after a run like that, the Raiders can spotlight him and just let their line deal with Thames. And when you have 3 linebackers watching out for 1 running back, you aren't going to usually get 4.
6:50 to go in the second quarter. It'll be 2nd down and 3 for the Falcons. And Thames under center now in an I formation. Regis has some linebackers creeping. Thames is going to hand it off to Cottrell, who's met immediately. That play looked a little slow to develop, and it was a little awkward by the Highlands Ranch line.
That's exactly what I was saying, though, Jake, is that the one that made the tackle on that was a linebacker because they spotlighted Cottrell. So I really, if you're Highlands Ranch, you got to think creatively here. I think maybe you do like what beat the Raiders last week. You throw it out to the side backwards on a screen and try to hit a receiver downfield, because your receivers have to be able to throw as well as Thames.
3rd down and 4 now. Thames is going to fake the handoff. He's scrambling. He's going to actually turn around and throw it to the right. And there you have it, Steven. A little
something going. The Regis defense says no, and I love the look of the defense here tonight, Jake. They're playing confident, but not all over the place. They're poised. And I love that look about a defense.
2nd down and 14. Thames is in a shotgun with Cottrell to his left, 2 receivers on the right. Thames, he's looking deep down the field. He's going to throw a bullet, and he completes a pass. Completed to number 39. That is Danny Galloway, and I almost have to make sure I just saw that Thames just completed a pass that well. Not a spiral, but very straight and quick to its target.
Showing some life, Jake. That's what you like to see. Clock running now down to about 4:30. Still have time, but a little interesting there for about 14 yards. It's taken them quite a while, over a minute. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but in this situation it is, because they still have 30 to go.
Falcons have a 1st out of 10. Thames is going to hand it off to the fullback, and that's number 35, Tanner Minch. And Tanner Minch absolutely no green space. Nice job by the Raider defense.
That forward progress mark, Jake, brings it up about 10 yards from where he ended, and that's what I'm talking about. The Raiders finishing a hit legally. Not illegally, but legally, which is good. Raiders showing great discipline this week. I think that's part of the poise they're showing. So I absolutely love the Raiders look this week, Jake.
3:45 to go in the first half. Thames has two receivers on the left. Regis Jesuit in a 4-2. Toss outside to Cottrell. Cottrell gets a good block from his receiver, and he'll fight to the sideline. He'll actually only get 2 yards. So a nice job of the Raiders finally containing Cottrell in his quest to get to the sideline.
And great heads-up play by the Raiders. I think they figured it out that if they just get one of Cottrell's legs, he's not big enough to power through, and they'll have guys there to get him. So Raiders now just going for fundamental tackles, but looking for latch tackles, as I like to call them, which, if you figure it out how to stop them, Highlands Ranch doesn't have anything else going.
Indeed, Steven. And it'll be a 3rd and 7 now for Highlands Ranch. Thames is in a shotgun with Minch, the fullback, to his left, and 3 wide receivers into trips. Highlands Ranch will burn their 3rd timeout, which is their final timeout of the half. So interesting to see what the Falcons will dial up here. A bit of breaking news from the Regis Jesuit community. Head baseball coach Walt Weiss is getting interviewed by the Colorado Rockies for the position of manager. And really, that's a situation that could drastically change the makeup of the Raider baseball program. Really, we'd be really sad to see Walt go. He's a great guy, and I had an awesome time being baseball manager last spring. I'd hope to do it again. But I just can't believe how much that would change the dynamic of the baseball community if he leaves.
And I think it might actually change the dynamic, too, Jake, of the Colorado Rockies. Maybe just a little getting a new manager. So, but really interesting. Highlands Ranch now time pressured with 2:50 left and no timeouts.
We, of course, wish Walt Weiss the best. And if he does get the Rockies job, that'd be pretty awesome in its own. We'll be sad for a little. So here come the Falcons on 3rd down and 7. Man in motion. It'll be a fake handoff and a handoff Cottrell, who finds some space along the right side. He's not going to have a first down, but clearly this is 4th down territory, only a yard away from the marker.
Raiders need to call on their defensive line to make a huge play here. Get Gunther and Eddie Gonzalez in there with a little help from defensive end Antonio Broadus and make a big stop here and just really take any wind out of the sails of Highlands Ranch.
4th down and a 1. 2:12 left to go in the half. Thames is going to hand it off to Cottrell, who tries to find the lane on the sidelines. He'll be close to a first down. The marking is very close. We'll see. Looks to have it.
Yeah, he got it.
Looks to be enough, so that will be a Highlands Ranch first down. Very close, but Highlands Ranch doesn't have that much more time. And with an unproven kicker, the Raiders could easily hold the Falcons to no points.
And I think that's what they're looking for, Jake. I don't think Falcons will bring out their kicker. In this situation, you need a touchdown, too. And the Raiders need to hold them to nothing. So I don't think field goal is really going to be in question here, hopefully.
1st down and 10. Wideouts on either side for Thames. Thames is going to do a quick pass to the outside of number 29, who will get maybe 2 yards at most. Nice job by Shane Moody to get on his man quickly.
And, Jake, you know I love what Shane just did there with a low, fundamentally sound, basic football tackle. I love to see fundamental play executed at its best.
1:40 to go. The clock is running because that was a completed pass. And the Falcons will hurry up to the line. 2 receivers left now. Cottrell in the backfield for Thames. It's going to be a handoff Cottrell. Early penetration by the Raiders line. But Cottrell will get to the sideline. He'll turn it up, be at around the 10-yard line. Again, that should be enough for a first down, Steve. And they're having astonishing success with these tosses to Cottrell near the sidelines.
And don't know why the... Oh, here we go. Clock's running now. Almost inside a minute here. If you're Highlands Ranch, you got to be getting nervous.
It'll be first down and 10. They're not quite inside the 10-yard line, so they can still get a first down without scoring a touchdown. And here's Cottrell on the right side. He's not going to find anything this time. Tackled in the backfield for a loss. And now we're under a minute to play, so Highlands Ranch better hurry it up with no timeouts.
And it looks like Tam's looking a little confused with sideline signals. And Jake, this turnaround, 15 seconds till he's under the center, and he's still not under, actually. We're now at 20. You can't have time like that.
Thames, he's going to fake the handoff. He's looking right. He's going to dump it out on the right side. A missed tackle there, but number 96 for the Raiders, Alessio Lopez, I believe, does not miss his tackle on that opportunity. And now it will be third down and very long. Only 20 seconds left in the half. I can't really explain how poorly Highlands Ranch has managed this last minute.
Cottrell was limping, Jake. That could be a concern for the Falcons.
Thames, he's going to throw a deep fade over the left side, and clearly miscommunication with his attempted receiver, Danny Galloway. But it'll be fourth down now, and the Falcons will attempt a field goal with 4 seconds left.
37-yarder, Jake. Not an easy one. Definitely at all. So actually, let me see, 36-yarder. So not long, but it's definitely not a short one.
And here's the kick. Looks to have the distance, but it is no good. Wide right, so that'll be the end of the first half of play. Regis Jesuit up 14-0 on the Falcons. Great first half. And we'll be back for the start of the third quarter. Enjoy the halftime break, everyone. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the start of our third quarter here at Lou Kellogg Stadium. The Raiders are up 14-0 on the Falcons based on a Trevor Williams 5-yard touchdown run and a 98-yard interception return by Shane Moody. A very promising first half for the Raiders, and we'll see what happens now here. Vince Saban to kick off. Pretty long kick. It'll be fielded at about the 2-yard line. Returned and met immediately. Nice tackle for the Raiders. That is number 6, Ryan Mahoney, making a nice tackle there on the kick returner.
Jake, I don't know why he returned that. That was in the corner. That was either going to come out to the 35-yard line or the 20. That's a lot of confidence to put in yourself trying to return that. But I don't know. We'll see if Thames and the Falcons look any different on offense here the second half.
For sure, Steven. Thames had a lot of issues in the first half. Made some completions near the end. And there's going to be a flag on the play. We'll wait to see what the call is. It's a timeout by Regis. So you're telling me, Steven, that we wasted a timeout on that?
I guess so.
I think we had 12 men on the field, but still, I'd rather almost take the penalty than burn a precious timeout.
I think, Jake, that the Raiders are so dominant in the first half and they're feeling so good that right now they aren't really thinking straight with their smart football heads. They're thinking with their momentum heads. So we'll see how it ends up here. But if that timeout comes back to get them.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, though, for the first play of the half to have too many men on the field. Never something that you want to do, and now Highlands Ranch will get some extra time to think over what they want to do. 2 receivers for Thames, and Kittrell will be behind him. The ball is on the 14-yard line, and Thames will do a quick pass out to the right side, caught in motion by Kittrell, who gets to the sideline. A good gain. That looks to be about 2nd and 2 now for Highlands Ranch.
And Jake, Highlands Ranch showing a little sign of life here. We'll see if they can continue that and get a first down here. But, yeah.
2nd and 2. And Stephen, really, Highlands Ranch needs to get some points quickly because, as we say, the Regis offense takes so much time off the clock. It can really be detrimental when you're trailing in the second half. And here come the Falcons on offense now. Thames. Oh, that was an obvious false start. Looks like everyone but the center moved.
Yeah, it kind of concerned Jake. I don't know if Thames didn't know his count because Thames and the center were the only 2 that didn't move. So there was probably a snap count confusion. But why are you putting a dagger in your leg like this and making it 2nd and 7? I mean, you had it going so well for you.
Steven, I have to wonder if Thames on that, maybe he knew that the snap count was something different than what the center had in mind, but he couldn't move because he didn't have the ball. And we'll see what Highlands Ranch dials up here. 5 yards back. Those penalties really hurt. And another false start. This time it was the right side of the line for Highlands Ranch. I saw that one, Steven.
Jake, you have a 2nd and 2 opportunity and a chance to get the wheels really rolling on your offense. And then you say, we don't need discipline. Let's just back it up 10 yards and try from there.
Very true correlation in football. The best teams usually commit the least penalties, Steven.
Indeed. You see, like, the New England Patriots actually have the least penalties by over 100 yards, and I believe 12 penalties over the past 10 years, and they've seemed to be the dominant team.
So after a 2nd and 2, it's now 2nd and 12. Thames is going to fake the handoff. He is looking deep down the field to number 31, who catches it in stride. And a big gain for the Falcons, about 30 yards on that pitch and catch from Thames to Ross Heskett, the junior tight end, moving the sticks for the Falcons. And, Steven, I'd say that was the prettiest pass we've seen Thames throw today.
I think that's one of his prettiest passes of the season, Jake. That was a great pass in general for any quarterback. So really great there, and see if Thames can keep it up.
That completion moves the ball out to the 40-yard line. And there are two receivers on the right side. Thames is going to hand it off to Cottrell, who will get maybe 2 yards. So a 2nd and 8 now. And Steven, what do you think of Thames so far tonight?
I think he's played absolutely terribly, and he's had a couple lucky spots. But I'm almost surprised the backup's not in, Jake. I think he's kind of has the psyche of someone like Mark Sanchez, where it comes in destroyed and then just gets pulverized as the game goes on.
2nd down and 8. Thames has 2 receivers on the left side. And in motion's number 1, Alfred Prisco. He's going to throw quickly over the middle to his tight end, number 31 again. Ross Heskett. Steven, I'm saying that's what the Raiders need to do on offense more. Those quick tight end streaks down the field that you hit them in stride are very effective.
And Jake, I actually think Thames might have played hockey in his athletic days, because he has a lot of no looks and or very quick looks and trust throws. And that's very common in hockey players. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if somebody told me that.
Thames will pitch it to, oh, wow. And that's unbelievable. That is Cottrell getting the pitch on the right side. Turns around, something running backs are always told never to do, but actually gains yardage from it.
And, Jake, if you're the Raiders, you have to finish those plays. If you get a running back to turn around, that should be a tackle for a loss. You can't let them gain yards on stuff like that.
2nd down and 7. And we'll see if Thames will pass on this down, kind of an intermediate range. Raiders in a 4-4. Thames is going to fake the handoff. He's going to hand out to Prisco, who will cut back inside, get very close back to the original line of scrimmage, and will set up a 3rd down and 8 for the Falcons.
And, Jake, really surprising play there, read directly by the Raiders. Thames, really, when he's faking handoffs, he just kind of tucks it into his gut. It's not as convincing as he could be. So I don't know if the Falcons have had problems with fumbles on plays like that or in the past or what, but really not convincing at all.
So Thames here, 2 receivers on the right. Raiders playing press coverage on the far receiver. Thames is going to scramble out to the right, and he fires one downfield that he gets a hand on, and it's actually caught by the tight end. And that, Steven, was number 39, Danny Galloway, the wide receiver. That's my award for the best play we've seen all year. One-handed, maybe tipped up to himself, then snagged. Wow.
Exactly. That was a fantastic play by Galloway, trying to get the Highlands Ranch Falcons some good yardage here and get them into scoring position. The key, Jake, here, though, is these next 8 yards.
Absolutely unbelievable, Steven, though. That has to be the biggest play I've seen, the coolest play we've seen all year. And now Thames moving his team to the line. He's going to hand it off to Cottrell. Cottrell trying to find a gap. He'll get about nothing, so it'll be 2nd and goal now. And, Steven, do you run or pass here?
I think you run. Thames is too unpredictable. I know he's on a hot streak right now, but on the beginning of the game, he's a cold streak. So I think you run it 3 times in a row with Cottrell and hope you can get it into the end zone.
And we're going to see what happens now. I think he got maybe a 1 yard, Cottrell, on that last one. So 2nd down and 7. 2nd down and goal from the 7. And it'll be a pitch to Cottrell around the opposite way, and he'll try to find the corner. He cuts it in, maybe got 1 more yard. There's a late flag that just flew, so we'll see who this is against.
Antonio brought us very late getting up. I don't know if maybe they pushed him down or something. That's the only thing I could see.
This would be devastating if it's against the Falcons. It'll probably be a personal foul. It will be against Highlands Ranch. So they're going to be moved back 15 yards, and I believe it'll be 3rd and goal now from about the 20.
Why not, Jake? just when the road gets easy, Highlands Ranch decides to make it harder for themselves. I don't know. If you're second and 22, do you hope for another field goal and hope your kicker's psyche's not destroyed from that missed one earlier?
Their kicker had pretty good distance on that final last-second attempt in the first half. So I don't know, because there's no way you can get this much yardage in one down, and it'd be foolish to punt. So
the only concern I have for the Raiders, Jake, is that the Raiders are great when their backs are against the wall, but they've given up 2 plays of over this distance this drive alone. So you wonder if maybe this distance could end up helping the Falcons, because they got nowhere on those 2 plays where they ran it. And it's actually third down, Jake, not even second. So
yeah, because the personal foul does not give you a new down. Thames, there's going to be a timeout Highlands Ranch. I don't think they had enough time to run that play before a delay game. So probably a wise penalty. Thames took a long time getting instructions from head coach Daryl Gorham. And now the Falcons will talk it over, Steve. And I almost wondered, like you were saying in the first half, when would there ever be a situation where you run on 3rd and 20? I almost say this is one, because if you can get maybe 10 yards, set up a more manageable field goal attempt, I think you have a much better percentage of successfully doing that than trying to go for it all here with a pass.
And I think, Jake, if you're the Falcons, I really question that not taking of a penalty. Your timeouts are going to come in critical later. You're down 14 points against a team that runs the ball a lot. So you need your timeouts. I don't think it was wise to take one here. I mean, it's already 3rd and 22. What's the difference between 22 and 27 yards? That's just my take on it, though. I would have just taken the penalty.
It's interesting, Steven, because in the first half, I would have taken the penalty on that one rather than burn a timeout on the first play. But all turned out well for the Raiders, and we'll see what happens now on 3rd down and goal from the 22. And it's going to be a fake handoff. Thames is looking. He's going to throw it down the field, and it is almost complete to the tight end, Ross Heskett. Heskett is down.
Are they going to get him for spearing, Jake?
That has to be a penalty on the Raiders. So that'll be a new set of downs for the Falcons. Wow, how about that? You know, Steven, one thing I'd like to comment on is I feel like every time there's a big hit, even if it's clean, officials feel this compulsion to throw the flag.
And I think that's the discussion going on right now. And I really didn't see... I could see the Raiders' head above Ross Heskett's helmet. So it wasn't spearing. So I think I'm going to agree with you there. And actually say it was here where there was just a big hit, so they threw a flag.
Wow. So because of that, Highlands Ranch will get a new set of downs, and they will actually, Steven, get a first down, and they will no longer have goal to go, because I don't think this will take them inside the 10-yard line. It'll be half the distance. So how about that? I've never seen that, Steven. You go from having a goal-to-go possession to moving back 20 yards and then getting another new set of downs, yet you still...
I believe it's actually still 3rd down, Jake. Yeah.
That's a personal foul, though. That doesn't make sense. A personal foul should be a new set of downs.
We'll see here if the officials straighten it out. It reads 3rd down, Jake.
Okay, well, I've never heard of a personal foul not being a first down for the offense, but there's going to be a whistle on the play. Another Highlands Ranch timeout, and it looks like the head coach is going to argue our point and say, how can you not give them a first down because it's a personal foul? I have to agree with him on this, Steven. I'm pretty sure the rule is a personal foul. You get a new set of downs.
And Jake, interesting that he didn't try to argue that with the sideline official and get an official's timeout rather than using one of his own. They're down to 1 timeout here, and they've still got 19, 20 minutes of football to play.
Well, Steven, in this case, this decision would be huge and game-changing. You're dealing with going from having a third down from the 11, which I don't even understand how they put it at the 11 because that's not halfway from where they were.
It's 15 yards because they were outside of the 20.
But even with that said, like
it should be the 12. It should be at the 12.
It should be a new set of downs. So
yes.
We'll see what the official ruling is. The official's actually going to come to the sideline because, Stephen, I think Highlands Ranch is right and has a legitimate point. I mean, that is a personal foul is always a new set of downs for the offense. If the quarterback gets roughed, if there's unsportsmanlike conduct, if there's a face mask or a late hit, it's a first down.
This lightning speed play, Jake, has come to a screeching halt and is now crawling along. It will be it reads third down.
That's amazing, and it'll be a handoff to Cottrell, who will cut it inside. A flag on the play. Cottrell very close to the end zone and holding on Highlands Ranch. Wow.
Throw another flag, Jake. That is now, I believe, the 5th flag in this set of downs. 5 flags in one set of downs. That is absolutely ridiculous. And we haven't even had 4th down. Who knows?
The Highlands Ranch offense just sort of gyrating between the 20-yard line and the goal line. Not really wanting to give up the ball, but not ready to score either. So they're going to be marched back. And now they're kind of in the same situation that they were 4 plays ago with the ball on the 22.
3rd and 22. But I really think that should have been a new set of downs, Jake. I agree with you. Really surprised there. I don't know what. Who knows?
Oh, they're high school refs, Steven. Sometimes they make mistakes, and that could be the rule. I would be astonished if that was the rule because I've never heard of that ever.
I'm so disappointed, Jake. I loved these refs so much up until about a minute ago. I mean, I still think they're doing a fantastic job, but I think that is a mistake.
2 receivers now. It's going to be a pitch to Cottrell, but Cottrell's looking to throw down the field. He's got a man in the end zone. Overshoots his man. Not a bad pass by Cottrell. Might want to give him some more throws.
Jake, he was so hesitant to throw that ball. You saw him pull it out, tuck it again, pull it out, tuck it, and then he pulled it out the 3rd time and actually threw it. So I think he would have had a better chance if he had gone for it. This field goal, Jake's going to be, looks like 40 yards.
Cameron Corkin out to attempt the 40-yard field goal. This would tie the longest field goal we've seen made this year. Corkin, a big kid, 210 pounds. And Corkin's kick does not nearly have the distance. I think someone got a hand on that because that looked really weak coming off the foot.
It did, Jake, and it almost looked like he scooped under it and maybe kicked the tee because high schools do have a tee back there to set the ball on. So I don't know, but either way, Raiders managed to hold the Falcons scoreless in that situation and run 5 minutes off the clock with the Falcons having the ball in their hand.
So Matt Hotelling and the Raider offense will take over with 7:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Hotelling to hand it off to Trevor Williams, who, man, Trevor is so reliable. There's going to be a late flag. Not sure what this is, but Trevor really has done a tremendous job consistently gaining huge yardage.
Late hit by number 2 or late block by number 57 on the Raiders or late hit by number 2 on the Falcons. I saw that one. Oh, it was face mask. That was by number 2. So
the penalty's really hurting Highlands Ranch, Steven.
And Jake, that being their 10th today, can they try to eclipse Regis's record of 24 at Mullen?
Just reflecting about that game, Stephen, Mullen had, I think, at least 12 personal fouls, and they still handily won that ball game. Hotelling's going to hand it off to Trevor Williams again, who makes some men miss, spinning his way across the marker for a first down, 15 yards and a first down for Trevor Williams.
And, Jake, I'm surprised the speed at which the Raiders are playing. With a normal drive, they could easily take the ball into the 4th quarter, but really gaining yards quickly. I'm not valuing time over points, but I'm saying in this situation they might want to run some more clock off.
Steven, I can't remember the last time the Raiders have really had a lead. Douglas County was probably 5 weeks ago.
7-0.
It's a good feeling.
3 weeks ago, I believe, because homecoming was on the 6th. And it's the 26th.
Feels like 5 weeks.
Fair enough.
Hotelling's going to drop back now. He evades one man, and he's going to look to run, and he makes a nice dart. And one thing I'll say about Matt Hotelling is that's something that I really wish he would have developed more during the regular season, because you got to look at the assets that he has. He's very quick, fast, so you should use him to scramble out of pressure and pick up some yards when he has the chance.
And Jake, I love the aspect of Matt Hotelling thinking for himself out there. The coach is kind of turning him loose. I love it. And I know I was complaining about that last week, how he was a robot.
2nd down and 5. Hotelling is going to hand it off to Trevor Williams, who once again has more than enough for a first down. The chains just keep rolling for the Raiders inside the Highlands Ranch 35-yard line.
And Jake, I think Trevor the tow truck dragging Highlands Ranch players with him at times. We've been calling him the tow truck for quite some time, at least I have. And really, he could end this game right here.
1st down and 10, in motion, Elliott DeJour. And it's going to be a handoff to Elliott, who does not find any open space, smothered by, I think, 5 Highlands Ranch defenders. 2nd down and 10 still. Woo.
That's arguably the most obvious play I've seen coming this whole season. I don't know who they were trying to fool with that one.
Shout out to the few members of our student section that are still there. The student section is actually getting smaller. Peaked at around maybe the 2nd quarter, but hey, those are the true fans here.
And Jake, I love being here because the warmth. I know that's probably part of the reason. That Trevor Williams, a 3-yard run there. But part of the reason I love being in the booth is the warmth allows me to stay for all the games. I know I'd probably stay anyways, but, I mean, it really helps. I'm not going to lie, Jake. These booths really help.
Oh, it feels absolutely awesome in here, Steven. And I know before I said I'd rather be up top. I don't know about that anymore. It feels pretty nice inside, and these Teletubby Halloween costumes are keeping us very warm. A double shout out to the few students that actually wore the Halloween theme tonight. And Hotelling's going to scramble out to the right. He's got a man in Robert Orban. And a great pass by Matt, very close to the sticks. That should be enough for a first down.
And, Jake, I know it might sound crazy right now with 16 and a half minutes left to go in this game. In fact, a quarter and a half. But I think if you're Nolan, you start running this play clock down to its very bones, snapping on 3 or 2.
I could see that, Steven. That would make sense. John Schmidt in motion. Fake handoff to Schmidt. Handoff instead to Trevor Williams, who has a huge hole up the middle. And he's still on his feet. Very close to the end zone. It'll be 1st and goal Raiders. Trevor Williams, a one-man army tonight, picking up virtually all the yards for Regis.
And great play there by Trevor. Interesting note there, Jake. The Raiders snapped it after only 4 seconds. So really not concerned with the clock. Why can't we see this clock management in other games?
Just under 4 minutes to go. And Hotelling can hand it off to Trevor Williams up the middle, who has a touchdown. With 3:53 remaining in the 3rd quarter, Trevor Williams puts the Raiders up 20-0 over the Falcons. Well done, Trevor.
Trevor's been absolutely fantastic tonight, Jake, and the entire Raider offense has seemed more comfortable than they've ever seen before. So I think this is the week you want to have going into the playoffs, a week like this where everything is clicking. They know they're going to get a high seed draw in the playoffs. They're going to be a low seed, so they're going to have to play a good team. PAT good there. But so this is the week you need to have.
And, Steven, I believe that the way high school playoffs still work is the home team is the team with the fewest amount of regular season home games. So we actually won't know if we'll be home or away until we know who we're playing.
Interesting. I believe, how many home games have we had?
I think we've had 5.
Well, let's see. Douglas County Highlands Ranch, Mountain Vista,
Then Horizon,
and
Cherokee Trail.
Cherokee Trail. So we're probably going to be playing away.
Unless we play another team with 5 home games, and then I don't know how they determine it.
It's determined by the highest seed. So there's a great possibility we'll be playing away. Unless there was a team with 6 home games.
I remember, I think our freshman year, we had like 6 home games, and then sophomore year we had 3.
We had 7 actually freshman year. It was ridiculous.
But sophomore year we had 3 regular season home games, so we got every playoff game home. It was a brilliant call. And here's the kick. It'll be close to the end zone. It'll be taken out by Cottrell. Cottrell spinning his way, going backwards, trying to make too much happen. He'll take a loss on the return. But, you know, Steven, the Raiders know there's a huge road ahead of them. They're really going to need some people to step up if this team's going to make a playoff run.
I think they just need to play like this, Jake, with a little less, more discipline. Get rid of those penalties, and I think you have an ideal football team right here. Really liking what I'm seeing tonight. We'll see if Highlands Ranch can do anything on this drive. They haven't been able to do anything all night.
Again, I will say Matt Hoteling's played adequate enough for the Raiders to win quite well. The problem is when Hoteling makes mistakes, it just completely turns the tables. Regis needs to take care of the ball. And there's going to be a penalty on Highlands Ranch, so that'll push them 5 yards back. 1st and 15 for Highlands Ranch, but really, this is a team. I remember, Steven, 4 years ago as freshmen, we went into the playoffs 5-4, ended up making it to the final 8. So we can make a run.
And then the year after, of course, making a run to the state championship.
Quite a team that year, I'll say. Quite a team, and it's amazing because when I reflect on my career here as a student, and ours, Steven, especially, but that was quite a year. Again, the team going, I believe, 14-0 until Mullen in the state championship game. But really, Nolan came in and changed the culture of Regis Jesuit football. Our games were packed every single game. I remember we had probably the best game ever, defeating Valor on the road. Such an incredible game.
I remember that one. That was... Oh.
Even the
Man, it's really weird thinking back on all these games being a senior. It's really great.
Yeah, see it if you think about it. It's senior night for us, too, pretty much. This is our last home game that we'll be doing as Regis Jesuit football broadcasters. And Cottrell will get maybe 4 yards to set up a 3rd and 6. But, Steven, what's your favorite game that you can remember?
Oh, definitely has to be the Cherokee Trail game in the playoffs a while back. The very game they put those bleachers up for, actually, that the students sit in. I remember that game. It was a packed house. It was exciting. It was warm mid-afternoon. I remember that game. And then, of course, the first game we ever broadcast. That was both great games.
That was quite an awesome game. I think that in terms of just completely having the tables against us, and I'll come back to this after the play, Thames will get tackled. Not enough for a first down, but just there was something special about that night that we went into Valor Stadium. Total sellout. The student section was packed. We actually broke their bleachers because of how crazy we were, and we upset them at home. That was special.
I actually wasn't there for that game, Jake, and I remember that. It was really disappointing. I heard about it the next day, but love Regis football, and that's why we do it, Jake, I think. That's why we do this.
And we know for sure that this season hasn't been what we wanted it to be for the Raiders, but, you know, see it, we still got more time. Raiders can turn some heads in the playoffs. Alex Mitchell fielding the punt, and he'll take it upfield, driving into some Highlands Ranch coverage men to about the 42-yard line of Highlands Ranch. But, Steven, you know, we've got a ton to look forward to senior year sports-wise. Our hockey team, we know, will be phenomenal as usual. Our basketball team, I talked to Eric Stemper and Tim Prisbislawski. They expect it to be much better than we were last year, so a lot of exciting things to look forward to.
And it is Jake. And for those of you that don't know, it looks like we have an injured Highlands Ranch player out on the field. But we are expanding our horizons of broadcast. This winter, we will actually have basketball and all of the home ice hockey games and away ice hockey games that we can. And then possibly some other sports there. And then in the spring, we actually open the doors to lacrosse, baseball, radio, and I believe girls soccer. So a lot to look forward to. So you RJ Live supporters, we'd love to have you here. And actually, Jake, just to mention, as we said this was our final home broadcasting game, shout out to the guys who are always kind to us in the press box. Mr. Taylor, Mr. Kerman, and Mr. Malsum, always great people to us and very kind to us. So just a shout out to them for always being so nice to us in the press box.
Absolutely, Steve. This is a total team effort. We can't thank enough our moderator, Mr. Dawkins, Tommy Raines, a phenomenal producer, and all the people that set the groundwork for us. Michael Harpool done an absolute wonderful job. Jack Hardiman and Eric Bruntz really helped me out so much last year with football, showed me a great example of how to compensate. And it's really exciting to think that we have so much to look forward to in terms of, I'm sure we're going to have an excellent basketball season around the corner. Josh Perkins. And folks, for those of you that don't know, Perkins is ranked on the ESPN Top 50 for his class, being looked at, I've heard, by Georgetown and Kansas, Wake Forest, to name a few schools. He's a dynamic player, and it'll be really exciting to see the Raiders on the court this season, as well as our hockey team, which we always know, Steven. Our hockey team is the team to beat in Colorado.
And it really is, Jake. I know we lost a couple of players in Ryan Wagner and Nathan Haas, but it'll be a great team, especially with Sam Harden in it.
And here's the handoff to Trevor Williams. Out to the outside. Another 6-yard gain, it looks like, 2nd and 4. Steven, I quickly want to hit on some college football predictions tomorrow. Oklahoma, Notre Dame, who you got? College game day.
Oh, definitely.
Notre Dame. And that's Jackson Fox tuning in. Jackson, what are your thoughts about the Notre Dame game tomorrow?
You know what? I don't follow college football enough to give you any stats. I just know Notre Dame's going to win.
Definitely Oklahoma. There's no question about that. I know Jackson's a hopeful, but skill beats luck. Skill beats luck any day. And Oklahoma also undefeated, so it'll be interesting.
No, they're not. They lost to Kansas State.
Oh, they lost. Well, Kansas State. Jackson, I appreciate your yelling into my mic. We're sorry about that for folks at home who might be slightly bothered. But so definitely going with Oklahoma. Jake, who do you have?
Honestly, my heart aches. I want to say Notre Dame. You know, that's my parents' school. Such an integral part of my family. But I have to go with Oklahoma. I mean, Norman, come on. That's impossible to play. Bob Stoops gets his... The thing about Oklahoma is they always lose games that you wouldn't expect them to do. But when they get motivated, they're like USC. They don't lose big games. Game day's going to be there. They're not going to be looking past Notre Dame. And in the meantime, I believe Trevor fumbled. So Highlands Ranch takes over. And it'll be a little pass on the right side that is complete for big yardage on the sideline. 20 yards. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. And let's see, Steven, another game by Duke Blue Devils traveling to Tallahassee to take on the Florida State Seminoles. Duke is 6-2, Steven. You know what that means. First time since 1993, a bowl season. You never know. Florida State's overrated.
I have Blue Devil fever, Jake, watching them this season. I am going with Duke in Tallahassee.
With your brazen predictions, you could be hired by ESPN. And here's a handoff to Cottrell, who will get maybe 3 yards. 2nd down and 7, and that will probably take us to the end of the third quarter. Let's see, Stephen, a few other games. Ohio State and the undefeated Urbanites traveling to Happy Valley, Pennsylvania at night to take on the Nittany Lions. Penn State actually favored. How messed up is that? I've got my Buckeyes in an easy win.
No question, Buckeyes.
I just think Penn State's so unproven, Steven. I do not know who Michigan State plays. I think they might have a bye.
Really disappointing there, but struggling to become bowl eligible.
Tough loss against Michigan last weekend, I believe. 12-10. You lost by a team that only kicked field goals.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the high school game.
We're in the fourth quarter now. The ball will switch sides. Regis up 21-0. Steven, this is our time when we can talk about fun stuff. Second down and 7 for the Falcons. I'm trying to think what other big games are tomorrow. Let me think. The mighty Colorado Buffaloes traveling into Autzen Stadium, Eugene, Oregon. The Autzen Zoo will be loud. And the Oregon Ducks, man, that game could get ugly. And in our game, Thames will pass it out, and it's dropped by number 35, Tanner Minch. Falls to the turf, incomplete, third down and 7.
And, Jake, interesting couple of stats. Buffalo's getting a 46.5-point spread going into Autzen, excuse me. Last week, USC covered a 40.5-point spread. So, managing to beat the Buffaloes by 46, I believe. So, 46.5, bold prediction. But first game ever played in Autzen Stadium, the Buffaloes, the number 11 ranked Buffaloes, took down the Ducks 17-13. So, you never know.
Here's Thames on third down and 7 in a shotgun with 2 receivers left. And there's going to be a flag on the play that'll move back 5 yards. Stephen, here's an interesting point. I'm sure you know Oregon State is undefeated at the moment. Do you see the Beavers having any shot knocking off Oregon?
Not at all, Jake. I think it's kind of like a Notre Dame undefeated. It's slightly proven, but not completely proven against the best of the best like Oregon. So I don't see the Beavers having any chance against the mighty Ducks.
If you're going to say the team that has the best chance to knock off Alabama, who do you pick? It's pretty much between Kansas State or Oregon.
You know, I take the Sooners, Jake. I take the Oklahoma Sooners.
Oregon.
I think Kansas State was a wake-up call.
Oklahoma has a tough road to get there, though. They're going to need some luck, but I agree with you if they get there. And Tebs, in the meantime, just had a snap go over his head. He actually managed to get away from it. He's going to throw it downfield, out of bounds. But a good effort. It'll be fourth down for the Falcons. And, you know, I agree with you, Steven. I think Oklahoma is a very dangerous team, but I've also had my, perspective. I've been really shocked by how Kansas State has just dominated teams, beating Oklahoma, destroying West Virginia, and holding that potent Geno Smith offense to 14 points at home.
And, Jake, I think the only thing they have to be concerned about is quarterback safety. And, folks, I'd like to do a quick apology if you're getting slightly annoyed by our tangents. We just love bringing the college football, pro football, and any football world to you during these football broadcasts. So please excuse us. But we'll get back to the game here, right here at Lou Kellogg.
Highlands Ranch will be in punt formation. You have to wonder if they're actually going to punt, and they will. But it's dropped and picked up. Quick kick, not very long, and a bad hop for the Falcons. I'm really disappointed, Steven. We still have not seen a fake punt this year.
You and your fake punts, Jake. I don't know. I just don't think that fake punts are really in the repertoire of high school, at least, especially for these two teams. Their quarterbacks can hardly throw. God forbid we try and watch their punter throw. But I think we'll see one in the playoffs against us, or we'll try and pull one. I think the Raiders will try one in the playoffs if they make it.
Shaw in motion. Hotalik's going to hand it off to Trevor Williams, who once again busts forward for a huge gain of 11 and a first down.
Now, Jake, these first downs that Trevor constantly keeps getting might be helping the Falcons time-wise a little, because Raiders have time to collect their thoughts and get the snaps off much quicker than if he had been stopped short. So maybe a little help, but honestly, I think the Falcons are beaten.
Checking the clock, there's still 11 minutes, 14 seconds on it. John Schmidt in motion now, but it'll be a fake handoff to Schmidt and up to Trevor, who gets a good 6-7 yards, so it'll be 2nd down and 3. And, Steven, really a tough situation next year will be where does Trevor Williams land on the running back depth chart?
Indeed, because technically he will be, if you look at the start of the year, he was 4th string because Chase Bertinelli, being a senior, would leave. I think Grant Neal and Juke are so great. Jalen, his older brother's fantastic. I think you could honestly run like a 4 running back switch up, which would be so fun to watch.
I would be in favor of having like a Georgia Tech offense where you just have 4 running backs in the backfield, kind of like a 4 horsemen thing. Imagine how good that would be, because I hate to say it to Jalen, but I'm probably going to give Trevor the nod over Jalen as of now, just the way that Trevor's proven himself in recent weeks.
I definitely would too. Jalen has a big play potential that Trevor might not have, but Trevor is a more consistent running back and picks up more yards more consistently.
3rd down and 1 for the Raiders on the Highlands Ranch 48-yard line. In motion, John Schmidt. And Hotaling will hand it off to Trevor Williams, who pounds ahead for 4 yards and a 1st down. Slow and steady wins the race, Steven. And I think it's safe to say that the Raiders will have this one safely wrapped up. Very good. So hopefully the regular season record will go to 4-5. Again, going to be a tough first-round playoff opponent awaiting the Raiders next Friday. But all in all, when you look at what this team, the youth of this team, I'd say the Raiders have done a fine job this season. Hotaling's going to scramble, looking for some space. He will get none. Smothered by 2 or 3 Highlands Ranch linemen and linebackers. And another interesting development, Stephen, will be who quarterbacks the Raiders next year, if it will be Matt Hortelling or if another candidate emerges during summer training.
I'm going to give the nod to Zach Heath right now. I think over the summer he gets his snap catching down, and he gets a nod over Hortelling next year. Just my thoughts.
Zach has a strong arm, and I think he has a lot of benefits that maybe have not been utilized this year. Hotelling's going to throw down the field to Orban, who caught it. He holds onto the ball. That might be the only time I've really seen Robert Orban hold onto the ball after getting hit.
And he snow-coned that too, Jake. He had it by his fingertips and managed to keep that. I think he almost let it go when he got hit and let it kind of drop into his arms just because he had kind of a good setup with his arms in the air. But great catch by Robert Orban.
3rd down and 1. And Hotelling is going to scramble out to the right. Nice block there by Trevor Williams. Hotelling trying to get away. He cannot. I'll qualify that. Maybe it wasn't the best block by Trevor Williams, but he had the attempt. And it will be 4th down and 5. So let's see, Stephen, what other news is there in the world of sports? I know you're a big hockey guy. I'm really sorry for you that the NHL is just non-existent at the moment.
You know, the NHL's disappointed me a lot in recent years. I know when I was younger, I was a huge hockey fan, and then the first lockout, to have a lockout this close to each other is just ridiculous.
You have to wonder if this is just going to be a pattern that affects the NHL every 5 years because of the inability to come to any sort of common ground. It's really something every other sport has been able to resolve its lockout relatively quickly, but the NHL one looks to have no end in sight, and the Raiders will call timeout in the meantime.
And I think, Jake, while we're still on football, we've done college. Who are your picks for your NFC Championship game, AFC Championship game, and then Super Bowl and Super Bowl champion this year for the NFL?
I know I'm a homer, but the New England Patriots have never disappointed me in my life, and I honestly think the Patriots will be hosting the AFC Championship in Foxborough this year. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's see, the team I think that could be playing them, I've got to go with the Houston Texans. The Texans have really done a great job with Matt Schaub, and NFC, cliche again, Packers are a really great team. Maybe the Packers against, Got to think real quick. Falcons. I'm going to go Packers-Falcons, NFC. And Trevor Williams, in the meantime, breaks a big gain down the sideline, inside the 10-yard line. Tripped out of bounds, barely. First and goal, Raiders. But, Steven, how about you?
I think for my AFC Championship game, Jake, I have the New England Patriots. The Houston Texans, as you had. But I am going, this year's their year. I have the Baltimore Ravens, even with the lack of Ray Lewis making it. I think their running back, Ray Rice, really can carry this team with Joe Flacco developing into a great quarterback. I think in the NFC, I have to go.
In the meantime, while you develop your thoughts, Trevor Williams will get his third touchdown of the night. That's a hat trick for Trevor Williams, pounding into the end zone. Regis Jesuit now up 27-0 with 7:23 to go.
It's safe to say this one's over, Jake. I think for my NFC Championship game, I don't think the Vikings can hold on. I think the Falcons make it. And then I got to go with my college football guru who came to the NFL, Pete Carroll, and the Seattle Seahawks. And I have them winning that game and winning the Super Bowl over the Houston Texans. Seattle Seahawks.
I would love to see that happen, but it won't. The Seahawks, Russell Wilson is not nearly developed enough to lead that team into a deep postseason run. I think it's going to be the Falcons, man. Matt Ryan is solid. This is their year. They had it wasn't last year when they had a shocking early upset after going like 14-2 in the regular season?
Indeed. Reminds me of the old days of the Indianapolis Colts. You go 14-0, lose your last two by sitting your starters, and go out first or second round of the playoffs.
You know, thinking about that, I'm really concerned because a lot of my fantasy players are on really good teams, so I can't let them just sit out the last 2 weeks of the season.
Meanwhile, PAT could bring the score 28-0. So who do you have? Do you have the Falcons beating the Patriots or the Texans?
I think the Patriots are going to win. They're just really good in the playoffs.
Until the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's why I have them winning the AFC Championship game, because I think the Texans, as good as a team is, unless you've been in the playoffs routinely, it's really hard to win. I mean, look at baseball for your example. By the way, Steven, do you think the Giants will beat the Tigers now that they're up 2-0?
Yeah. I had the Giants from the start, so the fact they're up 2-0 doesn't surprise me because they play as a team, Jake. That's something you don't see a lot. That's something that was wrong with my Yankees this year. They didn't play as a team, and the Giants do that the best that I've seen of any team in any sport.
Do you want to trade Alex Rodriguez?
No, not at all. I don't like the new Steinbrenner. I'm not going to lie. He angers me.
Write him a letter, Steven.
I've written 3.
You might be serious. Vince Saban does a squib kick that's fielded at the 10-yard line by Cottrell. Cottrell is going to cut it upfield, and he'll make it to almost the 30-yard line. But one thing also that I think we can touch on in sports that often goes untalked about are the effect of mega contracts. And the Yankees or someone's going to be stuck paying A-Rod $30 million next year. Not the only sport, really. You see, I don't know if you know the Islanders, their goalie Rick DiPietro, they signed him to a 15-year contract. They will be paying him a lot of money for a while. Just why would you do that? We'll address this topic after the play. Thames going to hand it off to Cottrell along the left side, and he will get nothing, so it'll be second out and 10.
And, Jake, hockey really one of the only sports you can sign a player for that long, especially a hockey goalie. I know my favorite athlete as a child was Martin Brodeur, and I still get to watch him play today. And he's still one of the best goalies in the NHL. So, really, when you sign a player for that long at NHL goalie, usually they pan out, at least to decent.
DiPietro really hasn't, though. It's been unfortunate. Thames, he's going to fake the handoff. He's looking. Oh, he thought he was going to go deep. He'll throw it off in the flat. That is number 35 on the reception, Tanner Minch. And Minch will get 2 yards to make it third down and 8.
I think if you're the Falcons at this point, Jake, he needed to take that shot downfield. That does you nothing in the scheme of things when there's only 6 minutes and 16, 15, 14 seconds left. So,
and let's see, Steven, what other sports can we touch on? For those of you that don't know, the Regis soccer team lost a 2-1 tragedy against Rangeview on Wednesday at Aurora Public School Stadiums. That was pretty rough. Steven could tell you more about that after this play. Thames on 3rd down and 8. He's going to scramble out to the left side, and he's going to run it. Thames, his first really good run of the game, and he doesn't go out of bounds. He gets turned upside down. Wow, what a step out of bounds, young man.
Indeed, Jake. And that soccer broadcast will be uploaded. Interesting thing, Mr. McPhee throwing his headset down. I don't know if he just doesn't need it anymore or what. But soccer game, they lost 2-1 in some of the worst weather I've ever seen high school sports playing in. The snow was basically going sideways, and it was sleet snow. It wasn't fun snow. 2-1. That broadcast will be uploaded tonight, though, so check it out after.
Thames has a 1st and 10. He's going to fake the handoff. Scrambling out. He's going to do that thing where he throws it to Cottrell on the right side. And Cottrell evades 2 Raider defenders. He's got 6 yards, 7 yards. What looked at initially to be a 5-yard loss turns into a 7-yard gain. 2nd down and 3 now for Highlands Ranch.
And, wow. Cottrell showing some life in this completely dead game, trying to throw some sparks back in Highlands Ranch. I mean, for what it's worth, I guess you could try to salvage some points tonight. That's the only thing I can think Highlands Ranch playing for is pride of scoring points against a Raider defense that really is mediocre.
3rd down and 3. And we'll see what Thames can do here. He's going to drop back, and he's going to throw it on the left side. Tipped incomplete, really overthrew his man there. Number 39, that is Daniel Galloway. So it'll be 4th down and 3 here with 4:17 left. Steven, the final sport that we really haven't touched about is NCAA basketball. How are your Spartans ranked this preseason?
You know, Jake, it doesn't matter. Last year we were ranked 2nd and went into the tournament as a 5th seed. But definitely Tom Izzo going to take us back for the Final Four.
I don't think so. And it's going to be a handoff to Tally now. Excuse me, it's only 3rd down now. He will be short, so it'll be about 4th and 2. But if you see the Big Ten, Indiana, I believe, is number 1, and Ohio State's number 2. So I don't think your Spartans are going to have a lot of luck this year.
I would like to see Indiana basketball start winning before they rank them so high. There's a lot of hype behind that, Jake.
I'll second that. I agree. I think Indiana, Tom Crean's done a great job, but the team really hasn't proven anything yet. It'll be a pitch to Cottrell on 4th down, and Cottrell will have enough for the Highlands Ranch 1st down. Now, I was reading an ESPN thing, and someone actually predicted, an ESPN beat writer, an ESPN coalition predicted the Nuggets to win the West.
No. Kobe Bryant, final season, takes home a 7th championship, retires. Laying that down right now.
I'm more on your side with that. I think the Heat are going to win. You can't beat that team.
No, they won't. They won't three-peat. Kobe Bryant takes home 7, number 7.
Oh, this wouldn't be a three-peat for the Heat. They've only won.
I meant repeat. I said repeat, didn't I?
I thought you said three-peat. That's okay.
Oh.
They'll still win. And Thames is going to throw it deep down the field. Overshoots his man. Falling incomplete. 3 minutes and 6 seconds left. But it'd be great to see the Nuggets win this year. And I think what the Nuggets do that so many NBA teams can't do is they win without a superstar, which is very impressive.
I think the superstars like the it factor that Tiger Woods has, that kind of clutch factor. I think that's what a superstar brings to the NBA. I think you need it to win a championship. You don't need to win games. You need it to win a championship.
Bulls. Derek Rose. And second down and 10, Thames is going to cut it up the middle. I'm not really sure what Highlands Ranch is doing, Steven. Second down and 6 now. You've seen I have numerous voice cracks in the last 10 minutes. I'm not sure what's going on with my vocal cords.
It's all right, Jake. We all hit that stage at a certain point.
Thank you. I'm actually quite past that, if any of you are actually wondering that. Third down and 6 for the Falcons. I'll get you back, Mr. Physics. Oh, by the way, are you still applying to the University of Miami?
I am indeed, Jake.
Okay. So, let's see. Thames is going to throw it. A no-look pass that actually, wow. He just auto-threw it down the left sideline, and number 19 happened to be there at the exact moment that the pass was there.
Galloway, 39.
Galloway catching all the yards for Highlands Ranch. But, so, Steven, if you are a Hurricane fan, I believe you are, where does Miami rank on your list of interest?
You know, it's so hard to say right now. I don't really know which school I'm looking at, but it's definitely up there. I'm applying to it, and I'm only applying to 6 or 7 schools. So,
well, hopefully my Duke Blue Devils will beat you in the last game of the football season. That'll actually be a good game. Cottrell will run it on the left side. He'll lose a couple yards. And we're now under 2 minutes to play, 1:43 on the clock. But
one thing I love about the U, Jake, is you never know if you're going to get the U that beat Boston College earlier this year or the U that played Notre Dame. Just absolutely got trampled.
Beating Boston College is not that big of a deal.
But they played so well in it. If you watch,
I thought it was like 40-30. Like they gave up a lot of points.
They played so well. The scoreboard didn't tell the whole story.
Beg to disagree. 1:20 to go, and it's going to be a screen pass to Cottrell on the right side. Cottrell will get a couple yards. Probably going to be third down and 8 now with just over a minute to go. So overall, Steven, a very impressive senior night. A great memory for these guys to go out on as they play their final regular season home game at Luke Kellogg Stadium. And as you pointed out, probably their last home game here overall. And the pass will be intercepted. I'm not sure who that was, but what a fitting end to senior night. Running it down the sideline is number 5 for the Raiders, Joe Bozeman, capping off a great memory. You'll never forget that. I'm going to once again say I don't know what Keaton Thames was thinking when he threw that. That was, once again, one of the worst passes I've ever seen. But that's probably the easiest pick six you will ever get.
And Jake, Eddie Gonzalez, once that pick was thrown, Eddie Gonzalez making sure to block Thames 5 feet in the air. I mean, he basically threw Thames. So, 2 pick sixes in one game. Raider defense competing with Trevor Williams.
And thankfully, Steven, this means the Raiders will not finish last in conference. Regis Jesuit will be second last in the Continental League, 5th out of 6 teams, actually tying Mountain Vista, but Mountain Vista won the head-to-head game. So a beautiful senior night here. It's freezing. The students have all left, but still a special night for all the seniors on this team.
Definitely, Jake. The stands mainly filled with seniors now, actually, enjoying their last football game. They're having a fun time doing jump-in jacks to stay warm. Wow, it's been a great game from the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't think people really realize, other than seniors, how special this is for us, because this is the last time we'll really all be in here rooting for our Regis football team. I really hope, Steven, for a better student turnout this basketball season.
We should have a great student turnout this basketball season. We'll see here. Raiders just 34 seconds. That's really depressing when you get scored on by the leading team with 34 seconds to go and you have to go out there for another series.
Yeah, once a team reaches 40 points up on another team, the clock just starts running. We're not at that level yet, but who would have thought the Raiders would put up 35 points, all be 14 of them were from the defense. A very impressive game all around. I will say that this Highlands Ranch team was just about as bad as we heard coming into this game, but still the Raiders took care of business. You're going to have games against bad teams, and good teams do what they have to do. The Highlands Ranch returner will return the squib kick past the 40-yard line. So Highlands Ranch will set up there with 27 seconds to go in this game.
Jake, that's got to be really depressing last game of the season for Highlands Ranch. You have a chance to possibly make the playoffs if you win this, and you just toss it out the window and don't even score a point. Ouch.
And, Stephen, I assume that we will be doing next Friday's broadcast, wherever it will be, for our playoff game. It'll be against a big team, so we need all the fan support we can get. First down and 10 for the Falcons. We'll see if they just run or pass it. And they're just going to run it up the middle, number 35. And it looks like he actually fumbled the football. And the Raiders, well, no, I think that means second down. I don't know what the defense is doing. 3 Raider defenders were just running off the field. So it was recovered by Highlands Ranch. And Stephen, I'd like to thank you real quick for all the just awesome memories we've had here as a broadcasting team through hockey.
Football, it's been fantastic. And I'm sure this isn't the last time we'll broadcast together, Jake. But last regular season football games, the time expires. It's been a pleasure. Shout out also to our producer, Charlie Smith, who is a freshman. Yes, freshman. So up and coming, building the broadcast program. And our cameraman, who's a freshman, Tyler Ballinger. Great shout out to them.
And Stephen, a big thank you to all the people that help us out and all our supporters, listeners. And on behalf of Charlie Smith, our producer, Tyler Ballinger, our cameraman, and Steven Snyder, the color man, I'm Jake Leonard. Thank you all for listening so much, and we'll see you guys next Friday as the Raiders try to stay alive in the Chassa football postseason. Have a good night, guys.